Hey guys, welcome back to Karting with Chris. Before I go any further, I would just like to point out that those people were not paid, and I am not forcing them against their will to say any of those things, so just want to get that out there. So for today's video, we are going to be doing the Summer 1 final race. Now, if you saw my last race, I finished in 4th, started in 5th, finished in 4th. Not too bad, but this time we're starting on the outside, so the start might be a little tricky. Also, one thing if you noticed in my last video is that my voice was kind of all over the place. I didn't quite lose my voice. I do sound a little stuffy today. I think it's the stupid allergies, but we'll try and get through this video. So before we begin, I said it in past videos and I'll say it again. I suck at remembering people's names, and so I don't want to screw up anyone's names and offend anyone by trying to pronounce it. So I'm just going to show you the driver lineup, right there. It's a little easier on me and no one gets offended. So like I said earlier, we're starting in 4th place. We're on the outside, and if you're new to these videos or new to this track, starting on the outside, you tend to lose 1 to 2 positions. So our best chance is to find a gap on the inside and immediately go to the inside so you don't lose any more positions. But we're going down the back straight here. We're pushing Adrian in front of us, and we're waiting for that green flag to go. And the flagman's waving green, and we're good to go. So right off the bat, we're looking to the left. We're making sure we can find that gap on the inside. It's going to be hard. We get passed by Ross, we get passed by Ava, and I slide in behind her. I try to go for the move through too. She kind of pinched me narrow, and I lost a little momentum, and she was able to pull away. But we've got Colin behind us, and I'm hoping that he can push us and catch up to these top people in front of us. So if you've seen my past videos, you will know that Colin, he's a really fast driver, so if we work together, we should be able to catch up to these people in front of us. As we can see, going through these last couple of corners, we're kind of close to Ava in front of us, but we're not close enough to that draft, and she's got a draft off of Ross in front of her, so we can see on the straights they just pull away. But Colin behind, he's been struggling in these last couple of races. I think it's his motor. Ever since NOLA, it's just not been acting right, and he's been getting better and better, but he's still not quite there. He's a really good driver, don't get me wrong, he's pretty good, but he's still getting there. So I am slowly pulling away from Colin as we see someone in the grass back there, and now I'm kind of in the same scenario as the last race. I'm all in no man's land, but as we can see Ava up ahead, she's kind of fallen back from the top 4 people, so she's not getting a draft, I'm not getting a draft, and hopefully we can catch up to her. So coming down the back straight here, there's going to be a chain in the middle right there. It's kind of hard to see, but you'll see it throughout this video. Yeah, someone's chain was just lying in the middle of the track. I was kind of scared about that. Not only if I hit it or if the person in front of me hits it, it could get flung up by the tire and hit someone in the head, or maybe get caught on someone's go-kart. So I was being very careful going down that straight not to get hit or not for it to get caught on anything. So if we look behind me going into turn 7, we can see that there are 2 people trying to catch up to me. That's Colton and Colin. They're both twins like me and my brother, and they are really quick. I was drafting with Colton during qualifying, so if they work together, they can definitely catch up to me. But going through turn 1, we can see Colton is going for that move on Colin, so now Colton's leading Colin towards me, and now they're going to try and catch up to me. But going through turn 3, we're going to look behind me again. We can see that Colton just goes way off into the grass. Sorry, bud, I know you're a fast driver and everything, but that is just not the fastest way around turn 3, and I think you should know that. Of course, Colton, if you're watching, I'm just yanking your chain. But as we can see, all that kerfuffling between them has caused both of them to fall behind, and their chances of them catching up to me have lowered. They're not 0, but they have lowered. And now I am no longer focusing on the people behind me catching up. I'm now focusing on trying to catch up to Ava. So we're ending lap 4, we're now on lap 5. We can see that gap between Ava and myself has stayed roughly the same. We can see the top 4 people are still within reach. So if I catch up to Ava, the best thing would be to catch up to her and pull away from her. But if I can't pull away from her, working together with her and catching up to those top 4 people would be ideal as well. So Ava and I were running very similar lap times, almost to the 10th, and so it was very hard to catch up to her. But every lap I was either a tenth or less than a tenth faster than her, so it's gonna take me a long time to catch up to her. Spoiler alert, I did eventually catch up to her. I'm not going to show you all the laps leading up to it because it took a long time, so I'm going to skip ahead. So we finished up lap 7, we're now on lap 8, and as you can see, the gap between Ava and myself has reduced. So watch what happens going into turn 2. I've caught up, we're about a kart lengths away, and then through turn 3, I just graze her bumper, and now we are within that draft zone. One thing you'll notice throughout this video is that she'll have me on the straights because she's running just a tiny bit more top end, but I'll get her going through some of the corners because I'll have a bit more acceleration. So having more acceleration and less speed has its pros and cons. So on the straights going into turn 1 and turn 7, you're going to be at a disadvantage. It's going to be prime passing zone. So it's going to be hard to pass Ava on the straights, but into corners like turn 2 and turn 3, it's going to be a little bit easier to pass through there. So hopefully if I pass through the corners, I can pull away before she can get in my draft. Now obviously I didn't know all this stuff when catching up to her, so I spent a couple of laps behind her trying to figure out where I'm faster than her and where I'm slower than her so I can judge where the best place to go for a move is. So we're ending lap 9, we're starting lap 10, and we're just gonna wait for Ava to make some sort of mistake so we can capitalize on it. So going through turn 1 up here, Ava's gonna get a little sideways here, and then going into turn 2, I'm gonna have more speed, so I'm gonna send it on the inside, and now we are up into 5th place, and now I gotta nail these next couple of corners so she doesn't pass me on the straights or in turn 7. I tapped the back of my helmet saying, let's catch up to these top people in front of us because the top people have pulled away. And at this point, Ava is pushing me, so now we are working together to catch up to these top people. My plan is to kind of pull away in the corners so she doesn't figure out that I have terrible top end, because right now she's probably studying me, trying to figure out where I'm slow and where she's fast. Obviously I can't read minds, I don't actually know what she's thinking, but if I was her, that's what I would be thinking. So going through turns 1 and 2, I have not pulled away from Ava, sadly, and going through turn 3, she is within a draft of me. So going through the chicane up here, I think she realized that she was faster in the straights, so she goes for the move into turn 7, and I try to get the cut back on her in turn 7, but she hugged the inside very well, and now I'm back into 6th place. So coming out of these last couple of corners, I noticed that Colton behind me, he was actually catching up to us, and if Ava and I fight anymore, he's gonna come into play for this battle for 5th. So we see Ava go sideways through 1. I'm actually gonna stay behind her so we don't keep on battling and bring Colton into this battle, because if there's one thing you don't want when battling for a position is another person to enter, because it makes it a little more difficult, because passing one person is hard enough, and if you screw up that pass, then the person behind you will pass you, and now you got 2 more people to pass. So I don't want that. I want this to stay a 2-person battle, and try and just stay with Ava and continue this battle for 5th. So a lot of strategy has come into play in this race. The people up ahead, I've now deemed them too far away, but going through turn 2 up here, one of the top runners, I think it was Chuck, went off into the grass, and so now we're up into 5th place. So now this is a battle for 4th. And if we look up ahead coming out of the chicane, there is a back marker in front of us, and what we absolutely do not want is a back marker to get in between me and Ava, because that will allow Ava to pull away. So coming through these last couple of corners, we're going to really hope that the back marker doesn't screw us over. He pulls over to the left, very nice of that person, and he points us by, so really nice of that guy to point us by. Didn't screw up our race, and it has allowed us to continue racing. So sadly, the back marker did not take out Colton behind us. He is still catching up to us. It is not a lot. He is catching up to us about a tenth, maybe a little more than a tenth per lap, but nevertheless he is catching up to us. So if we do get caught up by Colton, we gotta make sure we're in front of the group of 3, so we only have to worry about defending, versus if we're in the middle, we have to worry about defending and attacking. So we're ending lap 14. We're about to start the second to last lap, and that's where passes start to happen. I look for the move into turn 1, wasn't enough top speed to go for it. I got a little sideways through turn 1, so I couldn't go for that move through turn 2. And coming out of turn 3, I look behind me. Colton is catching up to us a lot, and so coming out the chicane, I decided to wait for a move until the last lap. So on the straight, I actually caught up to Ava, and so I pushed her, and I'm actually going to wait to pass Ava on the last lap. It's a bit risky leaving it to the last second, but I really don't want Colton getting into this battle. So going through these last couple of corners, I accidentally screwed up turn 9. I think I got too much curbing, and Ava has actually pulled away from me, and this is what I don't want to happen on the last lap. And going through turn 1, we can see Ava has gone a little sideways, which will allow us to catch up to her going through turn 2 right here. Not going to go for a move through turn 3. Those are usually very rare. But coming out of turn 3, I feel like I got a good run. Going through the chicane, I'm going to be right on her bumper, and I'm going to try and go for the move into turn 7. I'm going to try and get beside her, and I just wasn't enough beside her to go for the move. I didn't want to go for the absolute dive bomb. And then coming out of these last couple of corners, she's going to have the top end speed going to the line, so it's going to be tricky to try and pass her to the line. And Colton behind us has actually caught up. He wasn't close enough to pass me at the end, but I'm sure if he had one more lap, he could have passed me. So finishing 5th, Karting with Chris video confirmed. I tend to get a lot of 4ths and 5ths if you're new to the channel, but I had a lot of fun in that race. It was good, clean, close racing. Good driving from Ava. A lot of people came up to me after the race and said I should have went for the move on Ava in turn 7. I'd love to hear your guys' opinion on that, but that's all I have for today. If you liked the video, please subscribe, and if you have any questions, suggestions, or opinions, please comment below. Thank you guys for watching, and have a good day.